Hello and welcome to Breezy Chatter. Today I'm going to be talking about Ready to Love. I think it's season 4 or season 5, but it's definitely episode 2. This season's Ready to Love takes place in Washington, D.C., better known as Chocolate City. 10 men, 10 women all get together in their best outfits and their best attitudes to meet at a mansion for a mixer where everyone can get to know each other. So let's start with talking about who's vibin'. So Cornelius and Camille seem to be really getting along, so much that Camille is sold on Cornelius. She is not interested in any other men. Meanwhile, Cornelius is looking around and he is very much interested in Courtney. Tasia and Walter also seem to be hitting it off pretty well. Walter shared something very personal with her. He was married before and his wife died when he was 28. It sort of reminds me of Joel from last season. His wife also passed away, and he's raising children. Walter doesn't have any children, but it just sort of reminded me of Joel. Cornelius and Courtney seem to be vibing as well. I believe Courtney's a mom, so she said that was a big life changer for her, and Cornelius seems to be really attracted to her. And then we have Walter and Sabrina. They also really hit it off. I think they're going to choose each other at the end, but we'll have to wait and see. Walter and Sabrina talked about some really personal, serious things early on. So Walter took care of his mom for the last 3 years of her life. And he was very comforting to Sabrina, who is struggling right now as a single mom. She's caring for her parents. One of her parents has dementia. You know, that's a lot to deal with. So I think Walter is going to be a great comfort to Sabrina, and they seem to be really hitting it off. Then you have Frank and Aisha. They seem to really be vibing, talking about tattoos, laughing. You know, I think their relationship may go somewhere as well. All right, so now let's get to who's not vibing. We've got Carrington and Tasia. It was a cute little exchange, but I think Carrington didn't really appreciate the playfulness of Tasia. She was asking him questions like, are you single or are you sangle? Or you was out there playing, or are you done sneaking and linking? And he sort of felt like he was in the Twilight Zone, like she was asking him or making the same references 3 different ways where he felt he had already answered the question, and I think she was just playing with him and he was a little more on the serious side. So that was not a vibe. And then we've got Lamont and Aisha. Lamont's been single for 7 years. He takes accountability for that. He says he's been single because he was closed off. Now he's feeling lonely and he's ready for love. Aisha was kind of turned off by Lamont because of the poetry. They were vibing at first, in my opinion. But as soon as he started with the poetry, she was instantly turned off. She didn't respect it at all. She called it spitting bars. And I don't think he carries his poetry that way. I think he's not trying to make a rap video. This guy's a writer. He internalizes and he puts all his thoughts onto paper. And she was like, you're spitting bars? Like, you got to be kidding. So that was definitely not a vibe. Note to Lamont, though. I think he's a nice guy. And I think, I hope he finds someone out there because he does seem like a decent gentleman. Although we've only seen all of 10 minutes of him, possibly, for this episode. I must say, don't talk about genitalia, please. Leave that out of the conversation. Even if it isn't a poem, just leave it out. Yeah, thank you. Then we have Libba and Frank. Libba, Frank, and Aisha were all talking together. They were vibing, talking about their tats. But Libba was just a little too animated for Frank, and he instantly was turned off. And you could see it. And Libba sort of read the room, and she got the hell out of there. And then we have Corey, Carrie, Libba, Sabrina, and all of the other women at the mixer, not vibing. Because Corey had this bright idea that, I am going to put my playbook on the shelf and I'm going to get to know every woman here. I'm going to get their number and we're all going to go out on dates and I'll take it from there. I think he sort of kind of had the right idea, but the wrong approach. He was all over those women. Hey, do you find me attractive? I've been waiting to speak to you all night. He doesn't know these women. Remember, this is a mixer. Everyone's getting to know each other. So I don't know. It just rubbed the women the wrong way. And the women got together and they sort of figured him out. Like, oh, he's taking me out on this day. And oh, you too? I'm going out with him on this day. And they were immediately turned off. And they called him out on it, which was really funny. And I think his heart was in the right place. I do get nervous energy from him, even though he is quite attractive. I get nervous energy from him. But we'll see what happens with that. We'll see if he's able to make amends and redeem himself. So now Tommy meets with the men and they talk and, who's their top three, who's their bottom, or not even top three. He's just asked the guys, who are you feeling and who are you not feeling? So I think the three women that got the most mentions was Sabrina. Well, I heard Sabrina, I heard Camille, I heard Courtney. We didn't see Uncle Tommy asking all the men, but he asked a few, and Sabrina came up a couple times, Camille came up a couple times, and I think I heard Courtney. I'm not sure. And then the bottom was Liba, Tessia, and I believe it was Carrie as well. And then Tommy met with the women and he asked the women the same questions, like, who are you feeling? I heard Frank, someone's in love with his voice, Walter, Cornelius. At the bottom, Corey, of course, Lamont, and Tyrone. They said Tyrone was too quiet. And that sort of reminded me of Christian from last season. He was kind of quiet. He was so cute, though. And I just feel like they should give the quiet people a chance. Give them a chance. But Tommy did say this is not the format or the forum for the quiet. So, I guess if you have that shy energy, maybe the show's not for you, because it seems like the women notice that instantly and it's a turnoff. So at the end of the episode, one man and one woman was eliminated. For the men, the bottom two were Lamont and Corey. And for the women, the bottom two were Liba and Tessia. So Lamont and Liba were shown the door. What I found interesting at the end was the reaction of Tessia when she realized she was at the bottom. She was thoroughly upset. She went so far as to say, I don't understand why I'm at the bottom. I vibed with a few dudes here. I don't know why they're lying. And she said she was ready to go home. Her feelings were really hurt. Tessia seems like a nice girl. I think she needs to get out of her way and get over it. Nobody lied. The guys, they sort of said what they thought. So maybe she should just carry that for the next meeting. I mean, every guy's not going to vibe with you. I don't think all 10 guys said, oh, Tessia. But yeah, I guess enough of them said it. So just focus on the guys that you were vibing with and move forward from there. It was an excellent second episode. I hope you all enjoyed my commentary. If so, please leave some comments. You can like and subscribe. And until next time, ta-ta.